Yeah. Okay, the Jentry Podcast. I know that you will be loving it. We here to break it down so that you start to understand your local government. Who are the leaders? Time to get active, do something about it. Dealing with jobs, the workforce, and affordable housing. Motivate and inspire. Elevate, take it higher. For the next generation. Knowledge is power for your community. Giving you the info that you really need. Time to make a change and a difference. Tune in, don't miss it. It's the Jentry. The Jentry Podcast. The Jentry Podcast. Making a change, switching it up.
Hello, and welcome to the Jentry Podcast. Today, we have an incredible guest. I'm your host, Jonathan Mason, but more importantly, we have Vince Jones-Dixon. He is the commissioner, one of the commissioners of Multnomah County, representing District 4, but he's more than that. He is a husband, he is a father of two, he is a long-term resident, and he has one of the best whys I have ever heard when it comes to what got him into public service. Vince, how you doing today?
Doing amazing. Thank you so much, Brother Mason, for hosting me.
I appreciate you being here, and I definitely want to get that why and get your personal story. But before we jump in, I always like to ask, what's the secret sauce or the special sauce? What makes Multnomah County the best place to live in the United States?
One, we have America's favorite airport. So just that, and our board is currently building America's favorite county. So I would say the people. I know most people say the people. Most public servants say it's the people that makes Multnomah County rich. Not only that, it's the green. I mean, it's extremely green here. You're less than an hour or 2 hours away from the ocean, less than probably 2 hours away from the desert if you want the desert. And if you want to go snowboarding, we have that too. That's about 45 minutes away from Portland outside of Multnomah County. So we have it all here.
I love that, man. You can get to the desert, to the slopes, or to the ocean. That is a great place to be, indeed. Well, I've definitely prepped the audience for this. Please walk us through. Did you always know you wanted to be in public service? Was this something that you were born with? Like, what was the journey from your childhood till now?
Yeah. I would say, I believe I've always been called to public service. I'll share two stories with you. The first one is from when I was in first grade. We were working on turtle words. My mother reminded me of this about a year ago. And one of my classmates, they were struggling and they were being bullied and made fun of by some of the classmates. And the teacher they weren't helpful at all. So I asked my mom and dad to come in and address the teacher and the administration and basically tutor this kid as far as with his turtle words. And now I believe he's successful. So I think my call to public service started in first grade, but just here locally, what grounded me or what led me to public service. Now I serve on the board of the county commissioners here in Multnomah County. Prior to that, I was on city council in Gresham. And what led me to choose to run for office in the first place was a conversation I had with my brother, Andreas, about 15 years ago, back in 2013, we were driving through Rockwood, which is a community right outside of Portland in Multnomah County. And as we were driving through, he began to describe the needs within the community. And at one point in the conversation, he said, V, these kids need to see something different. He said he wanted to start an after-school program, focus on math and science. And he said one of the main things that's missing is connecting communities to resources. I was like, yeah, Dre, you should do that. And throughout the drive, I was extremely nervous because it was dark and Rockwood was known as far as a place or community filled with crime and everything negative. And about 3 months after that conversation, my brother got shot and killed less than a block away from where we had that initial conversation. And as I mentioned to you before, Jonathan, the day that he passed, my mind immediately went back to the conversation we had 3 months prior. And at that time, I was like, I want to start an after-school program that's focused on math and science, but I didn't know how or where to start. I was about 6 years into my career as a funeral professional. I'm a funeral director by trade. I was like, I want to start it, but I don't know how or where to begin the work. And about a year and a half after his passing, my wife, she was working on her bachelor's degree and she did a project called Who is Rockwood? Because the only thing that we knew about Rockwood was this experience that we had with my brother as far as him being shot and killed and everything negative that's being portrayed on the news. And my wife, she's lived in the community at that time. It was about 25 years or 26 years. But she spent about a month or two with her classmates going out, knocking doors and gathering stories. And what she learned was two things. One, the social capital in Rockwood is extremely high, meaning it's a community filled with a whole bunch of community members that have dreams. And the main thing and then number two, she learned that the main thing that was missing is connecting community members to resources and opportunities and pathways to live out those dreams. So she ended up hosting a community meeting about a month or a month or two after she completed the project, just to share her findings. And there was about 40 people in the room, and she shared about everything that she learned, the data, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the opportunities moving forward. And then she invited my mother and I to come up and speak and share about the loss of my brother. And at the end of the conversation, something powerful happened. Two community members walked up to us with tears in their eyes, and they said that they were there the day that my brother passed. Jonathan, this was a year and a half after his passing. Was a community of about 40,000 people, and there was about 40 people in that meeting that day. I was just like, what are the odds of two people being there the day that my brother passed and, participating in this process just for a report out on a project that my wife was doing. So that was a God moment. I'll just use spirituality for a second. And they said two things. They said, that my brother, that my brother didn't receive any medical care. And then two, they said that they recorded my brother's final moments and asked me if I wanted the video. And I was just like, what do you mean you recorded his final moments? And I was like, of course, I'd like to see the video just to see what happened. And initially I thought they were stretching the truth, but no, they had a video of my brother's final moments. In the video, you can see he's in the middle of this affordable housing complex. And after he had been shot, you could see about 10 or 15 community members encouraging him to keep breathing. And you see two community members running through like his pockets and everything. And then about a minute into the video, you see one of the first responders come up, one of the police officers come up, check my brother's pulse, I believe, and then make a few gestures and then walk away. And then 2 minutes or 3 minutes into the video, you can see the transport company, the folks that transport you whenever you have an injury or what have you, just sitting there in their vehicle. You can hear community members asking or yelling, why aren't they helping? And that question of why aren't they helping just lodged into my brain and propelled me on a journey to just go and learn how these systems work and what are the expectations with law enforcement, fire department, and the city and the county at large. So I spent about 4 years sitting in rooms, learning about 21st century policing, learning about like the EMT process and paramedic process, learning about like who sets the laws and the rules for budgets and things like that. And what I learned was there is no representation on the board and no one really providing direction to law enforcement and local and city management as far as what does 21st century policing really look like and facilitating that conversation well. So that's what led me to public office. That's my why. I don't know if you want me to share about just some of the things that we accomplished over the last 3 years and how that my why grounded me as far as cutting through or just leading us through a whole bunch of the changes that happened on the east side of the district.
I will.
That was a lot.
No, I will definitely get there. But first, I want to pause. It's surreal. I knew the story. And this whole time I'm hearing it again, just getting chills, just thinking of just how you said you were called. And I truly, truly believe you were called. What are the chances that not even one, two people show up to an event that your wife is putting on that has a 40-person attendance out of 40,000 people? They not only know the story, they were there, and they took it a step further. They filmed it, and you were able to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, if something like this ever happens to you where you are truly called, you have to answer that call. That story, my brother, thank you so much. Again, like visceral, the feelings that I get just hearing it. And I've heard it before. And so thank you for sharing. And yes, I'd love to hear what your taking of the tragic moment has propelled you to be able to do over the last few years.
Yeah, and I really appreciate, thank you. I appreciate the pause because now I'm tearing up thinking sometimes I don't pause and reflect. So I appreciate that. And so when I got onto city council, by the time it was 2020, about a month after George Floyd's murder or his passing. And at the time we had three big things that happened in the city. The city manager resigned, the chief of police resigned, and the mayor resigned, all within a week of each other or 2 weeks of each other, which opened up the door for me to get appointed to city council. I had really strong relationships with the majority of the council members and law enforcement, things like that. I got appointed. And the first thing that I did, or one of the first things I did was I met with the police union, believe it or not, when everybody was saying, hey, let's not engage with law enforcement. The police union president invited me to their home just to talk because we've been participating in these community conversations over the last 4 years. So we had this relationship. The fire union reached out as well, just to share about what was happening within their departments and some support that they needed. And I sort of landed on this whole thing. Instead of like defunding public safety, we should define what we're asking our officers to do and then fund those specific areas. And then track the outcome. So that's what we did. And I encouraged all my colleagues to go on ride-alongs with the police department, because at the time we were dehumanizing our officers. And then at the same time, as I worked with the chief and the leadership, like, we need to have these courageous conversations around the challenges that we're facing within our city and address those things, not to just get people fired, but to address those things so we can improve the outcomes for everyone. And that helped build the trust and the rapport within the department. And then also we, within the first month, we started this process as far as developing a youth violence prevention program. So I sat with our staff, and all of it was inspired by what my brother shared. So I spent a good year with one of our senior lobbyists and our staff, and our representative Ruiz, who's amazing. Shout out to Ricky Ruiz. We developed this youth services program called MOPI, and within a year of us launching the program, we got $2 million from the state. This youth violence prevention program, we saw about a 60% decrease in the violent crimes that were happening in the district, and we went about like 480 days without a murder within the district. And I was like, at one point, about a year or two into the project, I was like, we shouldn't just measure our success by the loss of life. We should be looking at other things, like how kids are doing in school. Are they being connected to resources, the things that my brother mentioned before? And then how are we using the assets within the district to, increase the livability, inspire kids and families to become whoever God's called them to be. So that's what feeds all that was woven into the work over my time on city council.
That's so impressive. You truly were able to live out your brother's wildest dreams, and I know that has to feel good. I know he's very proud of you taking his idea and his push and that drive that he was sharing with you so long ago, and you took it, ran with it, implemented, and then even took it a step further. We don't want to focus on loss of life. We want to have metrics that are promoting the true essence and the spirit of what your brother wanted. So again, I just want to pause and say thank you. I know, that can't be easy to share, and I know that it can hurt at times, but you taking that pain and made something beautiful out of it. So thank you again. Taking a step further, you talk about, and I've seen a lot of what you pride yourself on, public safety being one. As far as Multnomah County as a whole, what are the strategic priorities right now? Have you guys done like a comprehensive plan recently or strategic plan recently?
Yeah, we're working on our strategic plan now in a comprehensive plan. Our priorities is, as you may know, we just like a lot of the other cities here within the region, we're struggling with just homelessness in general and the drivers to homelessness, so addiction, mental health, and just not having the opportunity for work. So we're hyper focused on that. We just opened what we call a deflection and stabilization center about a year ago. So I just stepped out of a briefing, and it's a center that law enforcement can take people to if they are using drugs openly here in our public spaces, instead of taking them to jail. And in that facility, they're connected, our neighbors or community members are connected to resources. So we were just discussing just the progress that effort has made, and also the challenges and things that we need to work on moving.
That's incredible. One thing I also saw that you were very much at the forefront in Multnomah County is housing. How do you feel like Multnomah County is doing with allowing people to put down roots across the nation? Housing, and especially affordable housing, is so difficult, and then people suffering from homelessness also within that. How does housing play into your priorities and what's getting done?
Yeah. I think so. Ever since I'm on city council, we spend a lot of time talking about affordable housing, and one of the things that I continue to think about is permanent affordable housing, so home ownership. And then also the contributing factors, the things that are leading to eviction. So if you have someone, for example, an area that my office is looking at is, you have someone that is, let's just say struggling with mental health or what have you. Do they have the right services or wraparound services in order to remain in their housing, and to go through and to pretty much work through whatever they need to work through? So right now, it seems like we're quick to evict folks, or it's just extremely complex and our system isn't set up in a way that's restorative. So that's those are some of the things that we're looking at through got from my office. And then on the other side, my wife is a housing expert, so she's more of a, as far as policy and when you think about like how we use our TIF dollars or urban renewal dollars as far as building affordable housing, whether it's apartments or right now there's a lot of conversations around social housing that I'm learning about, which the city of Portland is leading currently.
That's impressive. You guys seem to truly be focusing on the issues that hit everyone across the nation: mental health, housing, public safety. These are issues that I hear time and time again. But it sounds like you guys are forefront, and then with the social housing, even leading the charge on a lot of ways. Now, I want to take a step back. We've gotten deep into the to the X's and O's, but I always tell everybody half of our viewership are municipal government leaders, county leaders, state leaders, and the other half are young people that are potentially interested in a life of public service. So for them, can you break down what a county commissioner actually is?
Yeah, definitely. So here in Multnomah County, we are responsible for the health and well-being of everyone within the district or within the county. We are a legislative body, so we set all the ordinances, the rules, the laws around, I guess, just public health, and we're also the public health authority for the region. So we review and approve the budget. It's about a $4 billion budget here in Portland or Multnomah County, which is Portland and four other cities: Gresham, Wood Village, Troutdale, and Fairview. And then also we're responsible for the strategy and or services for our neighbors that are unhoused. And then lastly, we also have the Department of Human Services. So we approve all of the policies and provide direction to the directors and the staff. Do you want me to go into every department, or is that high level enough for you? Or for your viewers, do you think?
Hey, no, thank you for asking, but I think
Okay.
they've been tuned in this long. They get
Okay.
the general gist. So yeah, no, I'd love for you to get into it.
Yeah. The other thing that we're responsible for the DA's budget. The DA is an elected position, but we're still responsible for their budget. So we have to be thoughtful as far as the different things that we fund, and we have to work in partnership with them. We also, same with the sheriff's budget. The sheriff is responsible. The sheriff is elected themselves, but they are responsible for the jails. So the folks that are in our care, we could still set policy for that, and we provide direction through the things that we fund. We have corrections health. We also have the Department of Community Justice, which is parole and probation. And this is where we can get creative. We can fund various things to improve the outcomes or folks or our neighbors or our community members that are under supervision. One of the things that I tend to lead with is just like whether these systems or these policies are actually rehabilitating the folks that are in our care, and helping them, become stronger and more resilient so they can be on their own and just become, again, whoever they're called to be and contributing members to our community. So again, at the core, the county is responsible for the health and well-being of everybody within the region. We also have aging and disabilities. So folks, as you grow older from birth, our chair always says from birth all the way to when you pass, we're responsible for all of those elements here within in the region. It's a lot. Lastly, preschool. I was going to say preschool for all as well, where there's a huge initiative. We invested quite a bit of money into our preschool, into a new program called Preschool for All, and it's centered around like universal preschool. So ensuring that our 3, 4, and 5-year-olds have prepared to jump into our education system here. So that's fairly new. It's only been around for about 2 years, but yeah.
Love it. Will, when I think of the young people, like we run panels and we do a lot of surveys, and they often think that you're either the mayor or that's it. But there are so many opportunities, and we have young people with vast backgrounds, and I always let them know there's a spot for you to serve your community. And that last one, as you know, I got the 15-month-old. I can appreciate that universal preschool because
Yep.
child
It's a
definitely.
lot. It's expensive. It's extremely expensive. I know some families spend upwards of $20,000 plus, per year on childcare. And that's what Preschool for All, that's what it covers. And if you think about it, if you have a universal preschool, inevitably it should increase your capacity to either work or be present for your families. And it cuts through a lot of the dysfunction. And then if you have a guarantee that your kids are learning, are receiving the tools in order to be successful moving throughout their education, it's a game changer for sure. And we're leaders in the nation
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is a true game changer. You're effectuating the lives of the entire family. Like you said, the ability for parents to feel safe and to be able to go out and work potentially longer hours or different occupations, not having to be centered around the home, and then giving the child that head start so they can be the leader or the next county commissioner a long time
Mhm.
from now. When I start to think of some of the things you said on the economic side,
Yeah.
are you guys looking at any industries that you guys are excited about maybe bringing or fortifying in the county?
Yeah, I really appreciate you're asking all the right questions. So you typically folks when they think of the county, they're like the county shouldn't be in the whole economic development sphere, but we believe that we should. We all play a part. So right now, one of my colleagues, I believe it's Commissioner Ben Edwards, Chief of Fourth, we're doing a study, an economic and development like analysis of the businesses that are here and looking at why people are leaving, why people are trying, why people are staying. And then ultimately, hopefully, we're going to be using that information to determine what role does the county play in economic development, and in business. Like for us, we're responsible for like the fees around land use if you're looking to build in certain parts of the county, or if you're looking to open up a restaurant, same thing. So it's just like what's feeding that and how are we creating an environment that's more business friendly. I've learned that personally. I co-founded, or I don't know if I share this with you, a Black rodeo here in Portland, and going through that process, I was just like, wow, there's a lot of red tape and bureaucracy that actually would have prevented us from doing the event. We went from like 2,000 people to 8,000 people as of this year over the course of 2 years. But there was a lot of bureaucracy that sort of made it difficult the first year. But once we figured all that stuff out, we sold out every year since then. So right now, going back to your initial question, we're looking at that and we're doing a full on analysis. And I think that's coming to the board within the next 2 months.
Awesome, man. Yeah, you told me about the Black Rodeo. I definitely want to come check that out at some point for sure. Now, when you start to talk about economic development, I speak to people often, and sometimes you can talk to community residents and they can feel that we're bringing in business, we're bringing in industry. What is that going to mean for me? How do you
Hmm.
guys look and balance economic growth and then potentially, not always, but potential for things like displacement and home affordability and people being able to maintain in their community? And you said it, that cradle to grave. Like maybe you want to get that first job, but then you also want to be able to age in place because this is your community.
Yeah, that's again, given our history here in Portland, we have very strong displacement policies and strategies here in Portland, given our history around redlining and gentrification and things like that. So it's not perfect, but we are hitting the nail. We're doing a really good job as far as keeping that at the forefront. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about is just like what assets, to your point, do we have currently here? For example, we have a ton of farmland, believe it or not, here in Portland or here in Multnomah County. So like, how are we connecting the farmers to like the schools and things like that and boosting like agro-tourism? I went to a farm and table dinner at, I believe it's called like Topaz Farm about a month ago. It's just like, this is hospitality, this is tourism. And they're doing great, but just like, how do we create an environment where we're supporting and letting people know that this exists and promoting that? But to your question, and then how do we leverage the partnerships, the things that we have here to boost that? And we're doing that with like Oregon State University through their extension program. I don't have a solid response yet because we haven't. Yes, economic empowerment is a focus of our office, but we're still exploring that now.
No, I just consistently, and I haven't been asking easy questions, but
No,
consistently, you're
it's a
always able
great
to.
question.
No, thank you. But you're always able to say we're looking into that. We were putting on studies on that. Or partnering with university to get to the bottom of that. And that's what you want out of your leadership is understanding that there's an issue and working to get to these solutions. These are layered solutions. And if you had a easy answer for me, I'm sure you'd be somewhere on the beach right now if you had the answer to displacement all the way.
Oh,
So I can
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah. We're definitely working on it. Like I said, it's woven into the culture here in Portland and Multnomah County in general, across the board. I think we lead with that as far as anti-displacement. What's the strategy? Ensuring that folks that have been harmed by the formal laws and policies are at the table as we're developing those structures. And then specifically around business, we just haven't. Again, we're partnering with other organizations to do that.
Appreciate that. And I promise I'm gonna let you off the hot seat in a second.
No, keep the hot seat. Yeah.
Last
I'm only
questions
8 months in. So it's good.
are going to be easier. I would not be doing my job if I didn't ask this one question. And with this, you have unlimited budget, you have unlimited time, unlimited resources. But if you could just snap your finger and change one big issue, what would that challenge or issue would be that would either support the county, support the residents? What would that one issue?
Yeah, that one issue would be, we really I don't even know if it's an issue, it's an opportunity. It would be a call to action. And that's what we're trying to facilitate, or that's what we are facilitating, not even trying. It would be just like creating spaces where everybody can come to the table from differing points of views and it doesn't matter what your political background is, to solve problems. So you're looking at things holistically. I tend to think of Rwanda. I don't know if I shared this story with you. I spent time working for a nonprofit in Rwanda. Rwanda is a country in East Africa. Most people, when they think of Rwanda, they think of the genocide that happened back in 1994. It was the genocide of the Tutsis, where over 1 million people were killed over the course of 90 days. Due to a lot of different factors. But to date, Rwanda is known for unity and reconciliation. It's one of the top countries to do business. It's known for like how they restructure their whole government and work through hard things together. That's the culture. So for me, it would just be like, how do we mirror that within our own context? That's something that I've always led with here in through my time of service since the very beginning, since 2020. It's just like, what does that look like in practice here? And creating those spaces. So that for me would look like you create that space to address the incarceral system. Is the incarceral system truly rehabilitating the folks that are within their care, and then providing them the tools when they come home to be productive members within our community? What does that look like within our library system? We're responsible for the libraries here. Does everybody have access? People that are coming in contact with those resources or with the library system, it's more than just accessing books, but is it helping you to become a stronger and better member within our community? Department of Community Justice, Homeless Services is the same thing. So it's just like, how do you mimic that or mirror that through every layer of work? And Rwanda didn't have any money. They had a ton of social capital and really good leadership, and they remained focused on solving and addressing the said problems that they determined in front of them. So for me, it's just like, how do we, with what we currently have with no money, how do we do that? And that only takes determination and the willingness to do it and stick to it. So
that's incredible. Another thing it sounds like it takes is good leadership. So I'm glad that you are thoughtful in looking at other areas as almost a case study to see what can be done. And I think the best leaders do that. You don't always have to reinvent the wheel. You can take a look at something that's worked, and then obviously you have to utilize your social and contextual knowledge to implant it into your area. But there are solutions out there. It's just how can you take them and put them in. Now the hot seat's done. The last questions are a little bit easier. There are a lot of great initiatives and things that you've done and that you're looking to do. But is there anything that your initiative or something that's coming to council or commission that you're just super excited about and think's going to make an impact going forward?
Yeah, I will say the use of technology to really track and manage one's progress through whether it's our incarceral system or our service system. I'm looking forward to that, or leading that or introducing that here within our region. I'm going to be agnostic and not name any pieces of technology, but I know of a handful of pieces of technology that can help us to be just unbiased and ensure that we're meeting the needs of community and what have you. So looking forward to just that, and then also just continuing to bring people together from different backgrounds and different beliefs to understand the challenges that we're facing, and then invite them to the table to create solutions for those things.
I love that. And technology is going to be so important to us going forward and looking into the future. And that tails nicely onto my next question. In 25 years, what are the residents going to be saying about Multnomah County?
That's America's favorite county, and they're consistent. Same thing about Rwanda, 25 years post the genocide. Folks are blown away by just the amount of progress that country has made and the humans that that Rwanda is producing are resilient, that actually work through hard things. It's a prime example. So my hope and goal is that Multnomah County is reflective of that in our own way 25 years from now. And they could say that both you and I played a part in that. So, and we were contributing members or contributing leaders to bringing that to bear. So I really, really appreciate just what you're doing. Seriously, if I can just take a moment to say thank you again for highlighting just what we're doing, as leaders at the government level, and then getting to the core as far as our why, as far as what drives us, and then also introducing your listeners and viewers to just opportunities for them to engage. I started off as a community liaison, started off with one conversation that my wife held and led to me being a community liaison for free. Now I'm one of the, I'm just, I don't even want to say top leaders, but just a local leader getting things done on behalf of the people here in Multnomah County, where we're building America's favorite county. So thank you again, Brother Mason.
Yes, yes, indeed. No, thank you. I can't do what I do without people that give their time and share with the next generation. And that'll be my final question, or maybe just an ask. Can you share some advice for maybe somebody that's young and potentially thinking about career public service, or just how to be more civically aware and then take that next step to civically engage?
Yeah, I'll share a couple of things. One, if you have aspirations to be a local leader or an elected leader representing the folks within your community, identify one or two problems that you're looking to solve. Because once even for me, I just rattled off 20 different things that the county is doing. My mentor has always said, if you don't have one or two things that's grounding you, you're going to get pulled in a whole bunch of different directions, and you're going to get I was going to change you. So I would encourage folks to identify one or two things. For me, when my brother passed, it was youth violence prevention, and then also creating a bridge between just law enforcement, the fire department, and community, and then figuring out how we can fix the systems, internal systems, to improve the outcomes for community. And two, just sit with the call, like figure out what you're called to do, sit with it. I did that for 4 years. You don't have to take 4 years. And then also look for opportunities, build relationships. That's what I did for literally 3 to 4 years. I sat in rooms with law enforcement, with local electeds, with community members, with our unhoused neighbors here within community, learned a ton. And I was able to carry those stories and experiences into the boardrooms, and I had that trust because I had that relationship was built over time. So I would encourage everyone to be disciplined and do that, and then find one or two people, lastly, that not affiliated, that don't have the same values or beliefs. I mean, it could be if you're an independent or a liberal, a Democrat or Republican, just to look at things from different various perspectives, and truly take a posture of listening. And then from that, go on and change the world. We need you.
Wow.
That was a lot.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited for the young people watching, and that's the type of message that I strive to make sure that I'm putting forward. So thank you. That was tangible advice.
Yeah.
Oh no, let's do it.
Two more things. Your public servants serve you, so reach out to them. If you see a leader that you admire, that you would like to take a few, you reached out to me. Via, I think it was LinkedIn or what have you. So just reach out to them and just ask for an informational interview. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then also your local electeds are here to serve you. So if they're not responding to you, that's a problem. Maybe you should be there. So, or it's a signal that maybe you should run. So just reach out to your local electeds. And if you see someone that you admire or would like to be like, send them a note. It might take a little bit of time, but most people like to pour into the next generation. But that's it.
Look, I love that. I definitely I challenge the young people watching to get involved, to reach out. I had a mayor come on here, and she said, I have 10,000 bosses. Who's a town of 10,000 people, and it's like they work for you, so make them work for you. And if they don't know what you need or what you care about, how can they preserve what you need to get done? So I appreciate that. And from everybody at the Jentry Podcast, I'd like to say thank you. This has been incredible. Your story, your push, your drive, and everything that you're accomplishing now and what you want to accomplish in the future is much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
There it is. So everybody, thank you so much. And this has been the Jentry Podcast. And again, we had Vince Jones-Dixon, and he again is one of the commissioners of Multnomah County representing District 4. Everybody, have a great one.